Okay, so I'm going to do a little different video here today. Instead of all the networking stuff, I'm going to work with electricity. And it's still sort of networking, I guess, home automation. I have a lot of home automation, by the way, which is why I have my craziness of a network in my house. You know, just tons and tons and tons of network connections. If you haven't seen any of those my overkill network video, I'll link it. But it's not necessarily overkill because I use a lot of bandwidth. I use a lot of network cabling and ports on my switches. So I have 3 switches, and they're almost all full now. Anyway, getting off subject here. I have a gas fireplace, and so the fireplace had just a wall switch controlling it, like a little light switch, toggle switch. Yeah, light switch, toggle switch. And that was annoying because you turn it on, sometimes you fall asleep on the couch or something watching TV, and the fireplace is on, and then you wake up sweating, and then you had to get up and turn it off. So I figured, and not to mention, like, we'd leave it running for way too long. We'd leave the room, and the stupid thing would always be running. So I put a timer on it, just a 1-hour timer, just to see how that would work. Just a dial timer, which I will show you in the video, because I'm actually going to go up there and show you how I'm going to wire this thing up and do it. By the way, don't try this at home. I'm not a electrician or a trained professional in any way, shape, or form. I'm going to demo what I'm going to do in my home. What you do in your own home is your business, and don't let me influence you. I feel like I have to say that for legal reasons. I don't know if I really do or not. But if you're stupid, I guess you're stupid and burn your house down. God knows I'm surprised I haven't burned mine down. Anyway, where was I going with this? Yeah, so it had a on-off switch, toggle regular light switch. By the way, there's no voltage there. It's a dry contact. It's just you know, it creates continuity to the you know, the flame tube there that creates a small amount of very small amount of electricity, like milliamps or millivolts. And then that contactor closes, and then that starts the fireplace. It's got a pilot valve. It doesn't have an electric igniter. So no voltage. So the problem with putting a regular timer, so I put the dial switch on. I'm all over the place here. I should write a script. I shouldn't. It had a dial timer on it. And those things, it's a mechanical click, 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 and it's click, 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 click. You'll hear it on the camera when I go up there. Super loud, and it's annoying. It's obnoxious. It's annoying, especially when you're watching a movie or something. It's a quiet scene, and you hear that tick, 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 tick. So, my lovely, beautiful wife said, "I don't like it." I already didn't like it too, but she didn't like it. Like the ticking. She's like, and I put these timers on. Come out of the box. I put these kind of timers on our bathroom fans, right? In the bathrooms. So this control, you know, you hit the button and it's like the bathroom ones are 1 hour. This is up to 12-hour. Bathroom ones are 1 hour. I think it's like 1 minute or up to 1 hour, something like that. So she's like, why can't you do timer like you did in the bathrooms? Well, the problem is there's no electricity to run the timer, because, as I said, that is just a dry contact. It basically just makes continuity to the flame tube, which generates that piezoelectricity in the flame tube. I think I'm saying that right? Probably not. Correct me if I'm wrong. Whatever. So I couldn't rig this up. There's no way to do it. I'm like, hon, I'm sorry, I can't do it. To which she said, can't you do anything? To which I said, yes, I can do anything. Me, in the internet, in YouTube, which also, by the way, I'm making this video because nobody's done this on YouTube that I could find. which is why I make a lot of my videos. So yeah, so there are wiring diagrams and stuff to do this online. So I called my buddy who does building automation. Thank you, Brian. And I asked him if he had a relay, and he did. He had one of these RIBs. So this is a RIB, stands for relay in a box. This is the company that makes it, Functional Devices RIB. This particular model is a RIBU1C. RIBU1C. There's the wiring for it. So anyway, what this allows me to do, camera, okay. What this allows me to do is bring in line voltage to a relay, which will close a contact. There's a normally closed and a normally open. I need the normally open to a contact on these two wires, which will, these two are something else. These two are power. These two are the normally open contact. So I need these two to create a closed contact with no electricity on them. Right? These are dry contacts, which is what I needed. So that's what this RIB allows me to do. So basically what I'm going to do, and there's another light switch. I'm lucky because there's another light switch. It's a two gang box. There's another light switch in it, which controls an outlet, which we never use. So I'm going to hardwire that outlet back to full on without the switch. I'm going to steal the power from that light switch to operate this. And then this is going to operate the relay, just pretend this is a light. All right, so you're going to rig this up to power, and then you're going to send it to this just like it's a light bulb. When power hits to it, a little LED comes on. Not that I'm going to see it because I'm going to try to stuff all this in the gang box or in the outlet box, and then this will get turned on by that, and that'll go out to the fireplace and turn the fireplace on. So also with this, you know, this has the wiring diagram on it, you know, so I can pretty much tell what that's going to do. And then to make sure this worked, you know, I did pull the wiring diagram out, and you'll see some scribble here. So really that's, you know, that's the diagram for the timer. So as you see, I put the fireplace, that's the RIB. So really what's going to happen is this red cable is going to go to the RIB, and the neutral will tie in with the RIB and the neutral and the switch. And so the hot and the neutral power the switch, and then really what happens inside the switch is, you can tell from this diagram, or I can at least, what happens in the switch is the red wire is what is actually switched. So when internally this says run, closes the circuit, and the red wire winds up getting connected to the hot wire, the black wire. So internally here, the black and the red are, as far as I could tell from this diagram, the black and the red are what's switched inside the switch, inside the timer. So anyway, yeah, it's not as complicated as it looks. So and I'll go through it upstairs. All right, so this is the timer. Let's move this chair out of the way here. This controls that fireplace. So when I turn that on, fireplace comes on. And you can hear the ticking. That controls a outlet somewhere in the room. So I'm going to steal the power from that. I'm going to pull that, put the other timer in there, put the RIB relay in there. turn the power off. Maybe it'll fit. Boy, that's gonna be tight. That's going to be a little too tight, I think. Maybe, just maybe. Well, they should fit in theory. I have to cut some of this wire out of here, which is I don't want to do that. Let's talk about the wiring here. So this is my poor excuse of an attempt to draw the wiring diagram, just so maybe makes a little more sense here. Fireplace, the rib, the timer, and then the colors of wires. This is kind of my poor attempt at, again, demonstrating the wiring. So inside the rib, and labeled on the rib is this diagram: blue, yellow, orange, white, black, white, blue, white, yellow. So in the video, maybe you can see those colors. But what this looks like is this side of the rib is control power, which is the power that controls the relay for normally closed, normally open. Now, in my case, this rib can do 120 volt AC and 1030 volts AC DC. I don't need the 1030, I need the 120 volts. So I'm going to use the 120 volt white black. I will not use the white blue, since that is the 10 to 30 volts. And then I need to use the common, because the common is for both, right? So if you were doing between 10 and 30 volts, if you were doing a 24 volt DC circuit, you would use white blue with the common. I'm using, again, 120 volts AC, so I'm using white black with white yellow common. So that's what the control power there is, which is kind of what's on this side of the relay. And then the other part is the normally open, normally closed. So the blue and yellow would be for a normally closed circuit. So you want something to stay on until it's commanded off, right? So that would be that. I want it to stay off until commanded on, so I want the normally open circuit. So I'm going to use the yellow, which is the common. in the orange, which is the normally open. So yellow and orange. So in the video, I'm going to use white, black, white, yellow for the control circuit, for the control voltage, and then I'm going to use yellow, which is the common, and orange, which is for the actual control circuit. So what it looks like inside there is basically this. Now, the other part of my equation here is the timer. So the timer also needs power. Now, if you look over here, this is my power. I got a hot, black, and a neutral, white, coming into the box. All right, so that's my power. So my power is going to come in. I'm going to have hot to the timer, and I'm going to have neutral to the timer, and I'm going to have neutral to the rib, right? And that neutral is going to go to the white-yellow common for the power. Okay, white-yellow. So I got neutral coming in, white. I got one white wire going to the timer. I got one white wire going to the yellow-white, white-yellow wire to the rib. Okay, and then hot. I got hot coming into the timer, and I also need hot going into the rib as well. So out of the timer, I have a red wire, which is my controlled voltage. Okay, so when the timer says turn on, it puts power to the red wire. So timer comes on, says okay, power to the red, power goes to the red. I need the red to power up the rib, so that is the white black, right? And then the common is white yellow. And then the yellow and the orange, which control the fireplace, come out of the rib, yellow and orange. So now I have power going to the timer. I have power coming through the timer to the rib, right there. I have a neutral wire going to the timer and a neutral wire going to the rib, right there. And then I have the control circuit going out to the fireplace, which is the yellow and orange, which is the normally open. And then you'll see here that there's a blue wire and a white and blue wire that is not used. Blue wire, white and blue wire, not used. And then this is kind of my, and then of course there's a green wire, which is the ground. And so this is grounded to that, and then the box itself is grounded. And then this is my poor attempt at what it actually looks like inside the rib. You know, there's a magnet that's controlled by the control voltage, the 120 volt. This is 120 volt AC going to the magnet. The 120 volt AC gets turned on, pulls the magnet. In my case, pulls it closed, the normally closed side of the magnet, pulls that magnet down, makes a connection to the normally closed. It's spring-loaded to the normally open. So when there's no power to the magnet, this spring pushes up into these contactors, which are the normally open contactors. Yeah, I might have that reversed. But anyway, yeah, so the spring would pop up here. So when there's no power on it, it's closed. When there's power on it, you can come down here and then it's closed. So power off, closed, power on, closed. It's basically what this magnet does. And there's these two contactors there. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense as far as the wiring diagram goes. And again, this diagram right here is actually printed on the rib. There's a little panel here that has this diagram on it, so that really helps. The biggest trick here is to make sure you use the two commons. You know, you got a lot of wires here, and two of them have to be a common wire for the circuit. So you got to make sure you have the commons hooked up. Back to the video. All right, let's put the power on. See if anything blows up. I think I got it wired right. Seems to be wired right. open is yellow and orange. Yellow and orange. 120 volt control is white and yellow, white and black, white and yellow, white and black. And they are switched through the timer. Let's fire it up, see what happens. Let's see. Turn on the 4-hour timer. Fireplace is off. Hit 4 hours. Rib comes on. Fireplace comes on. Off. Rib goes off. Fireplace goes off. Hit the on button again. Still on 4 hours. Uh-oh. Oh, I lost the wire. Well, that's not cool. Alright, I'll have to get that wire back on. That might be hot. No, it's not hot. But it goes to it goes to the neutral. Anyway, I'll get that on. Anyway, looks like it's working. 4 hours. Rib. Fireplace. No ticking. No ticking, Dee Dee. Alright. Now, I just need to stuff it all in there. That ain't gonna be easy. I have to trim some of these wires out of here and make them shorter. I don't want to do that. Alright. I'm going to try to jam all that in there. There's no way this is gonna fit. Holy crap. I think it's gonna work. Fireplace came on for some reason, so that's a concern. Oh, I must have hit the button. I think once I get the right plate, I think I'll be able to squeeze that in there. So I think I got it all in there. I just got to replace this screw with one that's a little bigger. I found that happened in a couple of spots now. Think it fit, Dee Dee? Maybe. All right. Boop. Look at that. 12 hours? Let's put it on for 30. See if it turns off. Alexa, set a timer for 30 minutes.
30 minutes, starting now.
So I put the cover on. I have the local Ace hardware store in the street, and they usually have like every single thing I need. They didn't have a blank with the square, but they had these weird module doodads. So I grabbed this just to make it safe so that everything was covered. And then I'm going to order, I know on Amazon they had a blank with a square full plate. So that's why that looks weird there on the corner. But everything working. Fireplace running. Dog sleeping. Good to go. Hope they help. Thanks for watching.